All right, guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight I have Steve Welsh helping out with any questions or concerns that come along the way for you. Steve, you with us?
I am. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome back. We're excited to get this show back on the road.
Absolutely, and then my backup and helpful support is always here as well. Greg Payton is with us to cover up anything.
Good evening, everybody.
And for those of you guys, why Steve is saying, because I see a couple new names in here, we were gone for a little bit of a month there just because of IMTS. And then for those of you guys that know me a little personally, I was out farming helping a friend. So we are back in the saddle and going to be doing these night classes again every Tuesday night for you guys. And of course, every single day, doing a tip of the day for you guys as well. So with that being said, if anybody has any ideas, send those over to me via email, and we'll get you some SolidCAM swag as a thank you present there. For those of you guys that don't have my email address, let me throw it in the chat as soon as I can find it here. Am I missing the chat? There it is. Been a while here. Let's see, Kevin. Yeah. SolidCAM.com. All right, so I just put my email address on the chat message for you guys. And then for the guys that are new here, we use GoToWebinar to do all these night classes. That puts everybody in mute just to eliminate any background noise that comes through. But if you guys do have questions, there is a questions panel, and definitely feel free to ask those questions there. One thing I do want to say is it was great seeing a lot of you guys at IMTS, Ronnie and Rick McAllister. I think that's everybody that I remember seeing there, at least. But,
great show too, Kevin. I mean, boy, we really had a lot of interest, and I'm really optimistic about manufacturing here in the States in general. I've been to, I think this was my fourth one, and this was by far the best show that I've been involved in. So,
yeah, absolutely. And if you guys weren't there, you guys will come check us out in 2 years, and we'll be ready for you guys.
Yep.
So, all right. I see a couple more people trickling in here. So, all right. So, if you guys remember last, okay. So I'm getting ahead of myself. For those of you guys that are new, we do record every night class session. So if you guys go to YouTube and type in SolidCAM University or KevCAM, this page will pull up for you guys. And like I said, we're doing a tip of the day every day. And the night classes are recorded in here as well. A lot of you guys wanted to see what I was doing farming, so I did a tip of the day right from the tractor. So you guys can kind of see the ins and outs of a 21-hour workday in the tractor farming. So, but I guess with that being said, let's get the ball rolling. So for those of you guys that don't remember, this is a customer part file that we started off with about a month ago. And what we did on this part is we actually did a 4-axis indexing, and we also did some HSS surfacing. So if we just had it in a flat fixture using surfacing. I got quite a few requests on show us in just 2.5D with multiple different setups. So tonight, that is what we are going to cover. We are going to cover multiple setups machining this part right here. And if I go ahead, what coordinates this? I'll show you all the different coordinate systems. So what I did is I went ahead and set up our coordinate systems already set up. So coordinate system number 1 is, and Ronnie had an excellent idea at the show, and we're going to be going forward with this on a couple parts. What we'll do is we'll have a part, and we're going to take your guys' input, because you guys have a ton of experience in the field, and just like this part, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So we'll kind of put you guys on the spot, and you tell us how you would approach this part, and maybe the rest of the SolidCAM University or the night class guys can learn or get ideas going forward that way. So appreciate that idea, Ronnie. That's a great idea. But So what I did is I set up my Mac 1, and this is how I would do it, setting up in multiple fixtures, but this is completely up to you guys. Like I said, there's more than one way to do a part here. I can't say more than one way to skin a cat because Ronnie's got a cat, so I can't pick up.
We are animal pet friendly.
Yes. So what I did with my Mac 1, position 1, and I want to create a different Mac for each setup. So this is going to be my 54, 55, 56, and 57. So you'll see my 54 is aligned right with this hole and this flat right here. So when I grab this coordinate system, all I basically did is click on here. So when it's sitting in the vise, I can probe off this side over here. I can probe off this side and then take a Z point right on the top. Now, if we go to, let me uncheck this one, and this one. Now, if we go to our Mac 2, get this flipped around here, we are going flat in here. And basically what I want to do is get the majority of the material removed out of here, is what we're shooting for. Now, I uncheck these. I'm going for Mac 3. What was I doing on Mac 3 here? Got to remember here. We're straight up and down. Maybe my Mac 2 wasn't straight up and down. Oh yeah, we're kicked off at a angle here to machine the flats. That's where I was going with. To machine the flats on here and right here. Okay. And then Mac 3 is going to be straight up and down, getting this material out of here and doing some roughing on here. And then Mac 4 is going to be our angle. So it's going to be sitting in soft jaws. So we'll side mill this face over here and flat end mill the face over here. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for everybody. So now let's kind of get the ball rolling here with our Mac 1. And so what I did is I brought in a vise with soft jaws for each setup, or each setup that I want to be doing. And what I did is, if I go to my SolidWorks over here, you can see I have my Kurt vise multiple different times in here. So what I did is I added these as a display state. Now, it's completely up to you guys, but I did this as a display state versus using a configuration. And the only reason why is when configuration, I'm suppressing, where in display state, I'm just hiding just certain components. So if I go to display state number 1, you'll see that I have my vise already set up in here. And basically what I want to do is label that as a fixture first. So we'll go ahead and do a machine setup. And we are going to do setup 1 and do a new fixture. And I'm going to grab my soft jaws and my Kurt vise here. Good enough. And we'll just say G54. Save that. Okay, so we got our setup 1 here. So now I can add my milling operation, and we will drill out that hole first. And I'll kind of buzz through this. So we got our drill, tool, select. And I still have my tools in there from last time, so we'll do drill depth, 0, and we'll do a diameter just to get that's not going to grab it because I don't have a full circle here, so I'll just do the 3 points. Okay, save and calculate. And we are deep. Drill depth here. Okay. Now by setting up my fixture in my setup, we'll have our full vise in here for the machine simulation. Okay.
Kevin, probably a stupid question, but you're doing all this in 2D, correct?
This is all 2D, correct? Yep.
Yeah.
So we're not utilizing any of the 3D functionality in here. So pretty much 100% of all our customers can be doing this part.
Perfect.
Okay, so we got our spot drill. I'm just going to do a save and copy here and change up our levels. And we'll go down to there and do a minus 25 thou, full diameter, and let's just do a PEC, G3, 100 thou, and grab our drill here. All right. Okay, so now you can see we're drilling all the way through there, looking good. Since I have it, you know, kind of everything up, you know, we are sitting at an angle, I'm going to actually machine my sides right now because we do have some stock on there. So we'll just go ahead and add, oops, I don't want to do a iMachine for this one. I'm going to do just a simple profile. Okay, got our geometry, tool, select. Sorry guys, I'm trying to buzz through this as fast as I can because I know a lot of this is just repeat. We're kind of more focusing on the setups. Ronnie's already barking at me. Just get along with it already. I can hear you, Ronnie. Don't worry. All right, and we'll just go a little bit past. Minus 50 now. Technology. I'll take some rough passes. 25. All right. Let's make sure we're up to size. I'm shanking out here, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to also extend out my geometry. 0.3, apply all. So I'll verify. Okay, so it's showing a little red right here because I'm shanking out. I didn't put an actual relief shank in there, but we'll just go with the relief shank for right now. Let's just do a stock target comparison. We're green. Green and yellow is what we're looking for. Let's check our hole for placement. We're green and yellow there, so we're good to go. So now we can move on to our next setup. So now that is my Mac 1, everything I'm going to be doing on Mac 1. Now, let's go ahead and head over to my display state. I'm going to pull up my Mac 2. So now, basically what I'm going to be doing is machining off these flats on here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do edit the setup, and we'll say new fixture. Grab this and this. Just grab the important stuff here. And I'm going to see if I can actually do edit. And I want to label that as G55. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and add our milling here. And we can go with iMachining here. And I'm going to do something a little bit different here for you guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a quick sketch. And you guys can do sketches while you are in an operation itself. So now for my geometry, oops, I need to switch this over to Mac 2, which is our 54 or 55. Grab this as geometry, and I'm going to do mark chain as open, and then I'm going to do mark open edges, and I'm going to turn this one into a wall. Now my levels, and like I said before, since we're working on angles, I always like to click around just a little bit just to make sure that number doesn't change. If that number is changing on your depth, that means our coordinate system isn't parallel with that surface there, so we know something is up. All right, so we'll grab 1/2-inch end mill here, and do iRough plus finish. Compensation, we'll do a floor. And now it will pull in our second setup here. And let's just do a sanity check real quick. So we're green, we're up to size. And like I said before, you know, usually I should have a 1/10 in here. Okay, let's try this again here. So if I put just 1/10 in there, this all has to do with tolerancing. This model that we're representing right here is not what you're going to see on the machine. It's all tolerancing that I've set up in the accuracy of the model. So I have a pretty tight tolerance set up for this model, so it should show really accurate. But now if I put a 1/10 in there as my good part, then everything is going to show, you know, everything that is, you know, at that 1/10 is going to show right up to size. We can even do a side 3D mouse is stuck. So we got yellow all the way around. We're golden, and that's all I really need to do on that setup.
Now, Kevin, while we're going over setups,
yep.
Maybe you could go over why Mac 2 is in purple text under that second setup.
Oh yeah, you can see that. So I missed something on my setup here. You'll see, so what Greg is talking is, so see how my setup up here is purple, and then my Mac position is in black. Now down here, I have a purple setup and a purple Mac. What's happening here is I didn't link my setup to my Mac position. And thank you, Greg, for that. A great catch. So what I need to do is, even though I labeled it as a fixture, and I told it it's this fixture, I need to tell it what work offset we're working on. So I'll switch this over to Mac 2, hit OK, and now that is basically saying that that setup has linked to this Mac. This setup has linked to this Mac right here. Anytime you guys have a purple Mac, that means we need to have a setup in there. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for everybody. Holy cow, I just noticed our list just like grew by a ton. A lot of people in there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And am I explaining that correctly, Greg? You want to have those setups linked to those Macs, especially when we're doing multiple setups like this. If we go to post out this code, it's going to post out correctly. If we don't have those setups in there, letting SolidCAM know that we're moving it to a different work offset, our code may not come out 100% because we're not telling it that setup is assigned to that Mac. Okay. Okay. So now let's go ahead and hop over to our fixture number 3. And as I'm kind of going through this, you know, if you guys want, as let's say you guys are just running this as one single part, fine and dandy, but you can also think of this as you're running it on a table. So let's say you guys have a table with 4 different vices, and your Mac 1 is going to be your left vice, your Mac 2 is going to be, you know, your next vice over, keep going along. And this is the exact same way you would set it up that way as well. So just kind of want to let that be known for you guys. Okay, so here is our setup number 3. So basically what we're going to be doing in this one is just kind of hogging out the material inside here, using a basic pocket operation, or iMachining for that fact. So first thing we'll do is do a machine setup, say after that operation, and our fixture is going to be a new one, and we'll call this as G56. And I'll just click on all my components of that fixture. Like I said, I'm, you know, trying to do this as if we were using soft jaws in a lot of these parts. Now this one is clamping square on square, so all we'd have to really do is run parallels underneath there. But the ones that are on angles, that would be definitely, you know, milling those, those angles into those soft jaws, or using a cyan plate, kind of like what we talked about a few weeks ago. Okay, so let's assign this to Mac 3. Hit OK. Now I can also rename these setups here. So I can do edit, and I can just call this as G56. You know, edit, and we'll say G55, and edit G54. Okay. So now on our 56, we can do add milling operation, and we'll just do a simple pocket. And we got our Mac 3 grab, so I'm just going to click on that bottom face using our Smart Face technology. And what is the size of that? That is 0.52, so we can get away with our 1/2 inch end mill on there. Levels, profile depth, get down to here, and we can do step down 1/4 inch. Looks good. And since we did use the Smart Face, it knows to start on the outside and work its way in. And when it's doing this faceting process here, it's basically pulling in the fixture that will also have full gouge detection and crash detection as well.
Hey, Kevin, you've got a question in the chat area from Brent. He wants to know if you can put the G54 as text placeholder instead of 1- position next to the max in the coordinate system.
Yep. So, Greg, remind me to come back to that one when we're done here.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let's come back to that one. To answer your question, yes, Brent. So let's say I wanted to come in here, and maybe I wanted my position, my Mac 1 position 1 to be 57, for instance. I can just come in here and do edit. Right click and do rename, and I can type in there 57 or 58 or whatever work offset you want in there, and it will post it out as that. Don't do a 1- or anything like that. Just do, you know, like for this one, we can say 54. We can do rename. We'll do this 55. And it will automatically add that 1- in there. But you guys can come in here and rename these whatever number you want. Now, on the older post processors, if you guys have a outdated one, and it seems like everybody has an updated one now, what you had to do before you could rename these is you would actually have to come into your CAM part setup and come down to the machine options down here, and turn on the I work offset method, put that at 1. From what the post team tells me is they've updated all their posts. Anybody that switched over in 2017 with the updated post or newer, you don't even have to put that value in there. But if you guys are running an older post, put that at 1, and then anything that you put up in the coordinate system will post out what you typed in right here. So does that kind of answer your question there, Brent? Okay, excellent. Okay, so we are on, let's see, we got that pocket. Okay, so now we're going to be on our last setup. So what I'm going to do is go to my display state, go to my setup 4 here, and for some reason that does not look right. Oh, because I don't have my coordinate system. Okay, so if well, we'll wait to add that in there. But my coordinate system is actually up on the top right here. But so what we'll do is add our machine setup and do after that operation. We'll do a new. And we'll call this 57. Grab that, that, that. And by all means, guys, if you guys are a little bit newer to the SolidCAM, it does not have to be a Kurt vise. You guys can have a toe clamps. You guys can have vacuum tables, anything you guys want as your fixture. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add our milling operation here, and we will just do a pocket. And so for this one, probing wise, you kind of see we have, a part kind of, or a coordinate system sitting on space. So how I kind of look as I would probe this part, and obviously, like I said, these would be soft jaws, so they'd be notched out. But I would be probing the back of my vise right here for my y-axis. I would be coming over here, probing the side for my x-axis, and then the top right on this edge right here for my z-axis. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for you guys. So now, what are we doing? Pocket. And then we'll do mark open edges, and I'll tell it this one over here and this one right here. All right. Tool, select. Grab that same 1/2 inch end mill here. Levels. Like I said, I like to click around just to make sure I'm perfectly level with my axes here. And we can just do 100,000 step downs. Save and calculate. We'll give it a second to pull in that vise here. Okay, so now I am machining a little bit air. You can definitely see that. So let me get that fixed up here. So let's say our upper level. Let's go by stock. Calculate. Now we shouldn't be machining air. There we go. And let's just do a quick sanity check here. So we're yellow, we're right up to size. So the only thing we really have left is to machine over here. Oh, my space ball is just like, okay. So we'll go ahead and do that in the exact same operation that we were just in. But what I'll do is I'll use that one as a profile because I can side it. So I use the bottom of the end mill to grab this face down here, and I'm also side cutting it over here. So we can just do that in just a standard profile here. Do new. And uncheck my tangent propagation here. And we'll grab that same tool. Levels, come down to right here. And we'll probably just stay a little bit above because we don't have to go right down to that exact depth because of this channels in here. So we can just do a positive, like 10th out here. Technology. So what I want to do is if I take this all in one cut, it's going to be a little heavy. So let's just play it through real quick and you'll see kind of what I'm talking about here. So we're taking just a little on the heavy side here. And you'll see my chain didn't go all the way through. And that's because I forgot to do actually one step here. If I go to my geometry button, since I clicked just that chain, we're not going all the way through. So if I get a top view down here, I can actually extend my chain. We'll do 0.3 for our start. And what's 1.5? Oh, that's a little too much. Do 1.25. And it's a good spot to end. Now what we can do is do a step down of 0.100 or 100th out here. Save and calculate. Simulate. Solid verify here. And I went too deep. The great joys of solid verify. You can see I'm gouging right through there. So all I have to do is come into my levels here. And we'll just go tell it right to this exact point. And I'll just go a minus 10th out, just to go just a little bit past. Thought I was going to be safe by going the other route, but forgot about that. All right, so let's play it through here. So now we should have a 100% complete all yellow. Let's just get around. So we are golden. We got yellow all the way around. So now, if we want, we can go ahead and play this all the way through and we'll be able to see all our different setups as we're going along. So here's our first one. I'll slow it down a little bit for you guys. Spot drill. Drilling. We're going a little deep on this drill, but just wait for 2019 on anybody that does any deep hole drilling. Got some cool stuff coming for you guys. Actually, more custom drilling than anything.
Now, Kevin, do you have a machine simulation on this post? Looks like you're using an eval post, so
no,
maybe not.
Yeah, I don't have a machine sim.
Thinking since this is setup focused, you can show the machine preview in each of the setups.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Get this kind of rotate around here. Okay, so there we have a complete part. So let's switch over to a post that has I don't have this one pointed. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let's see what I have for machine sim on this computer. VF3SS. So let's go to our Haas. VF3. Continue. calculate everything here. All right, so what Greg is getting at here is the machine preview, which is this button right here. I totally forgot about this. So this will actually show you the machine as it sits in there. Now you can see with my machine sim, my vise is custom made into the table. So what we can do is just highlight the Z, and we can actually raise up that vise to get it so it's sitting right where it's supposed to be. So it's a great feature to have in here, and you guys can see what it looks like on the machine itself. So you can see maybe, with this specific one, we're going to have this vise. I'll just do -20. Maybe far over on the right side. Hit OK. And let's do edit. Machine preview here. And that is definitely not how my vise is going to be sitting. Why is my vise sitting straight up and down here? Is that where I'm at 2?
I believe on that one you created that fixture in Mac 1, so you'd have to reassociate the coordinate system for that fixture.
But this is my 55, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because I switched the 55 name, right?
Yeah, you switched it after you defined that fixture.
So
It was still on Mac 1.
Edit. And we'll just do unselect all. Come on, Steve, you were falling asleep on that one. You should have known that one.
Hey, remember, man, I'm just a sales guy.
No? Why am I all funkied up here? Back to...
Edit that position. Edit the fixture. And now take a look at the fixture mounting coordinate system to the part mounting coordinate system.
Okay, good call. There we go. That's what I messed up here. Edit. New. I'm a little rusty at these night classes here. So now...
I was just going to say, as you can tell, they're done live, not recorded.
Yes. Right? I want to keep these as live as possible for you guys so you can see.
No.
There we go. And so, let's see, our Z is sitting up a little bit, so we can lower him down. And we can, like I said, we did -20 on the first one. We can do like -10 on, oh, that's going to be a little close. Let's do -5 on there. And let's go ahead, edit this, machine preview. I messed this one up too. So let's go to my display state number 3 and do edit, new. And fixture. There we go. And then this one, like I said, we can lower down in our Z, just highlight that, use your center trackball, and we'll put this at 5. Hit OK. Edit. This is why it's good to have that machine preview. So we'll go to display state number 4, setup, edit, new. That's Mac 4, yep. And there we go. So, and then this one will move over at 15. So it's on the far right side. So I'm kind of setting this up as if we were to have all 4 individual vices going on here. Now we go ahead and go to operations, simulate, do machine sim for you guys. And this machine sim may possibly not be set up. Yeah. It's not showing my fixture or my part here. Something's going on with my machine sim. So next week, I promise I'll have a full working machine sim for you guys. But that kind of right there is everything that you guys want to do when you guys have multiple fixtures with multiple work offsets and different configurations of your fixtures itself. So we have a setup for G54, we have a setup for G55, we have a setup for G56, and we have a setup for G57. So, did I miss anything? Oh, so Eric, you said you missed the first half of the video. So basically what I did is instead of creating configurations, and configurations work really good, like when you suppress components and stuff like that. Basically what I did is I created display states, and with display states, it's just visualization, what you're seeing. So if I go to display state number 5, I have nothing showing right here, but I set it up so my display state is number 1 is going to be my fixture for my Mac 1 position 1, and you can come over here and you can see everything is hidden except for my fixture 1 here. And you can see I got quite a few different in here. And as I was adding fixtures in here, I was just adding them as display states. So.
And there is a video online. I posted the link in the chat section for anybody who wants it. Or you can check out the SolidCAM University channel and search for display states, and that video will come up.
Yes, Brad, it is being recorded. I apologize. We were working on this part, it was a month and a half ago when we first started this part, and I forgot to hit the record button, so I apologize, everybody. The record button is hit right now for us, so.
Rusty, but not that rusty, Kevin, right?
Yep.
No, I let Brad know for sure it's being recorded, so we're all good.
Any other questions, guys? Now it's time to ask, or any suggestions or anything else you want to see with the setups and different fixtures and stuff like that. I don't see anything there, so.
Pretty quiet.
All right, so next week we are going to do one more part. Customer asked that we kind of show his part being programmed live, just to kind of get ideas for himself and hopefully get ideas for you guys as well on just programming different parts. I haven't seen the part yet. It's labeled as wheel, so be interesting to see what it is. And then after that, what I want to do with you guys is I'm going to put, actually, because it was Ronnie's idea, I'm going to put Ronnie on the spot for you guys. And anybody else, let's throw Rick on the spot, just because I got to meet you guys in person. Same thing with, what did we lose? Brad Denton? Oh, no, he's still here. Maybe in Brad Denton. And I'm not going to throw a hard part at you guys. We're just going to kind of keep it simple, easy, but want to kind of get your guys' take on how you guys would machine a specific part for, I mean, Rick, you got a lot of good experience, and, Brad Denton's got a lot of great ideas, and Ron, you got a lot of great ideas, and all you guys have great ideas. I want to kind of share your guys' ideas with the community itself. So, I'll give you a heads up on, if we're going to have you program that week or not. And like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, that's totally fine. Both myself and Greg will be here walking you through along with it too. So it's not like we're just going to throw the part at you and say, all right, program it.
That'll be worth some swag too, Kev, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
yeah.
There was a question that came in, Kev. Does display states, is that available in SolidWorks?
Yeah. Yep. That's all done in SolidWorks.
Okay.
So that's right under your configuration tab, and normally display states is sitting just like that down there. So it's kind of hidden down there. Not a lot of people know about it. I kind of see as I use my configurations as suppress and unsuppress, and my display states as hide and show. So if that kind of helps out, you can hide and show stuff over here versus suppressing. And the reason I like to use the display state versus the configurations and suppressing is since my fixtures and everything is constantly being updated and moved around, when I suppress something, I may have something that come up in the list right here that it can't be found because it's suppressed. Versus if I just hide it, it's still here per se, but I can't see it and I can't click on it. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But to give you a look at, let me go here and we'll just do show. So this is basically, a 4 setup part right here, but look at all the different fixtures I have going on right here. So that's why I kind of set up the display states, kind of going through it, and it makes it much easier to toggle through when you guys are working on multiple different fixtures. So cool. Yeah, and Greg, I mean, if you have questions on, those display states, Greg, do you want to paste that link in for Greg Malloy as well? And Greg, if
it should be there on the GoToMeeting chat.
Okay.
That was broadcast to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Greg, are you able to see that YouTube link there?
Got it.
I have it. Okay, perfect. So that's kind of the plan going forward, guys. And like I said, if you guys have ideas, I see a lot of new names in here, I love seeing that. I got a bunch of people in here tonight, which is great. If you guys have ideas, let me know. If you guys have a part that you want to see being machined live, send them over. Looking for some great ideas. I've gotten a lot of great ideas from you guys already, and we're kind of getting those incorporated in there and kind of getting the ball rolling for these next few night classes for you guys. But I do want to throw a shout out to, and he's not even in the night class tonight.
He's going to watch it on YouTube though.
Okay. So
shout him out.
Yeah. So we're at, both Greg and I were at IMTS. Well, Steve was there too, but Steve's not cool enough to get it. So,
thank you very little.
But so this is kind of coming from one of our customers here, Eric Moon. I know I talked with him a lot in the night classes. He actually makes these wallets, and he hooked Greg and I up with some of these wallets. If you guys look, I mean, I've been old school. I got the checkbook and I got all the other cards in the big old honking wallet. This thing is sweet. So I just want to give a shout out to Eric, because these things, you can get them in titanium. These are all done in SolidCAM. These things are really cool for being a wallet holder. So I just want to give a little shout out to him as well. But
Nice.
all right, guys, I don't see any other questions here. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Eric Moon, it's Decade Minimalist Design.
Decadent.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Decadent. Yeah.
Yep.
So really cool stuff. But like I said, guys, if you guys have any questions, you guys all have my email address. Let me know what we can do to help you out. If you guys have suggestions for the night class, tip of the day, let us know. We're here to help out in any way possible. Steve, Greg, anything I'm missing before we wrap this up?
Nope.
No, I'm actually excited about tomorrow or next week's class if it's a wheel part, because that'll give us a chance to go over some of the differentiation between turning setups and milling setups.
Sure.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and like I said, I haven't even seen the part. All I see is it's labeled as wheel, so it'll be interesting to see.
All good.
And you'll see both Greg and I fumble maybe a little bit. Well, probably more myself than anything. But, but all right, with that being said, guys, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for attending the night class. Hopefully to see a ton of you guys back in here again. It's great seeing a lot of these names in here. For those of you guys that stopped over at IMTS, you know, Rick and Ronnie and Brad, it was great meeting you guys in person. Like I said, love to see more of you guys there in the future as well. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, have a great evening, and we will talk to you guys next Tuesday. All right.
Thanks, guys. Bye now.